Hi everybody and welcome back to the Girly Girl Bookworm. So this is the second video of the day. Hopefully you've already seen my haul because I'm going to upload that one first. So if you haven't seen that one, make sure you check that out. But this is my weekly wrap up. Oh yeah, I got 4 books to share with you. The first one you've already seen because I mentioned it in my last weekly wrap up, and that is Confessions of a Hater by Caprice Crane. I believe I gave this one, oh my goodness, I'm already blanking. I gave it 3 stars, I think 3.5-ish stars. Um, this it follows a girl. I'm forgetting her name, Haley, and she is really like unpopular where she's from, and she is moving. And in the midst of like packing and stuff, she finds her sister's notebook that says like teaches you how to be a hater. So she decides that she's gonna follow these, and her sister was also getting rid of a whole bunch of clothes, and she kind of raids her sister's like box of what she was getting rid of, and like kind of like recreates herself into somebody that's going to be popular in this new school. She's also an artist, which is kind of why there's like these comic strip things in here because she kind of draws like comic books and stuff. And so she moves to this new town and she kind of becomes a hater. She almost gets joined into the popular crowd, but then she discovers something about them that really turns her off about them and she doesn't want to be their friend. So she joins this other group of people and she starts becoming a hater, and she's still like popular, but like the popular crowd versus her crowd, they kind of like pull pranks on each other like to get back at each other for things, which was really kind of petty. I really liked how the story was like written, and she was basically like telling you the story, which was in a unique way, I felt, but it just seemed very immature for what, like, honestly, I understand they're 16, but it just seemed like things got taken too far. Like, the message was all right because the message kind of came across like she learned her lesson, but it was just like at what cost? Like, she was just being completely stupid about things. So I feel like I'm not explaining this the way I want to, but I feel like I'm blanking on like what I actually wanted to say. Um, it was good. I enjoyed it as a whole, but I wouldn't necessarily go maybe read it again. I would recommend you check it out though because I did like the writing style. It was really kind of unique to me and it was pretty entertaining. It's just I wish that people were smarter, I guess you could say. Like it was almost like in a cliche like matter about like why you shouldn't be a hater. And then there's like this one storyline plot about her dad, which is not very much of a spoiler. It's just there's a storyline that involves her dad, and I just felt like that was completely like unnecessary whatsoever. So if you read this book, you probably know what I'm talking about. It just didn't seem like it made a difference. Like it didn't add to the impact of the story whatsoever, and it really bothered me to be quite honest. So yeah, that's all I'm gonna say. And then the next 3 books that I read go together because I read a trilogy. I read Fury. They had cover changes in case you couldn't tell. The first book was Fury by Elizabeth Miles. I gave this book 4 stars. It obviously revolves around the Furies, which is in Greek mythology, the 3 women that are kind of out for revenge. And this starts following 2 characters, M and Chase, and they have both done something that has sparked these 3 Furies into like kind of trying to seek their revenge from their lives. We don't really learn Chase's right away, but the synopsis kind of gives away M, so I'm gonna explain M's. M kind of has a she really likes her best friend's boyfriend, and that's kind of one of the things that leads into her problems with these Furies. And it's interesting because I gave this book 4 stars. It was one of those books that I feel like I wouldn't normally like. These characters are really stupid and really immature and make really stupid decisions, but I was totally like captivated into the story and I like flew through this book. I only wanted to read like half on Thursday and then like half on Friday, and it was very hard not to continue after I reached the half point, and it was like one of those things where I was like, I feel like I really shouldn't like this book, but I do. It followed like very like immature storylines and things that normally would bother me, but for some reason I really still continued to enjoy it. So I read this Thursday into Friday. Oh, by the way, with Confessions of a Hater, I read this on Wednesday. Like, I started it that Tuesday night, and then I finished it all on Wednesday. This half Thursday, half Friday. I didn't read anything over the weekend. Saturday, I was just really, really busy. And then Sunday, I slept all day because if you watched my last video, you know I was sick. So I slept all Sunday. And then Monday, I stayed home from work because I really wasn't feeling good. And I read Envy by Elizabeth Miles. This is the second book. I also gave this 4 stars. I don't think I was as into this one as I was with the first one, but I think that was also because I was sick. I was reading this in between naps. Like, I would read 100 pages, and then I would take a nap, and then I'd read another 100 pages, and I'd take a nap, and then I'd read, you know. So, like, I still enjoyed it, but I don't know if I enjoyed it as much as the first one. But I gave it the 4 stars as a benefit of the doubt, because it was more like a 3.54 to me. It was just, like, one of those, like, middle books where it was, like, we didn't really learn much of anything, but, like, more drama happened. So it was still alright. I still really enjoyed it for being sick. The fact that I was able to read a 400-page book the day I was sick was pretty impressive in my opinion. And then yesterday I just had to finish it, and I read Eternity by Elizabeth Miles. This is the third and final book in the trilogy. I read this yesterday. Once I got home from work, I actually went to work yesterday. And I thought this was an interesting ending to the series. I've seen a lot of like hate over this trilogy. I was looking at reviews as like I was reading them just to see what other people thought. A lot of people didn't like the ending. I thought the ending was alright. The first, like the building up to it in the beginning was kind of like, okay, we've read this for the last 3 books. Like, come on, let's just solve this thing and get over this. And especially because in this trilogy there is a love triangle, but it's almost like once you get into this book, it's almost like a love triangle plus a love triangle. Like there's 2 love triangles going on. It was really kind of weird about that, but I really liked how it ended. Like once we finally got to the end, it was like such a page turner. I wanted to know how they were going to solve this and get rid of these girls for good. And it turned out to have a decent ending with a decent message, which was really nice. So I gave this book 4 stars as well. So overall, the trilogy wasn't my favorite trilogy. Would I say it's the best written trilogy? No. But it's really easy to read, and I found it still pretty entertaining enough that the characters were doing things that would usually bother me, and it didn't bother me. So enough to like stop reading it. So I did really like this trilogy. I just wish they would change this cover to match these, because then that would make me so much happier. The one thing that I do like, if you are like a stickler for cover changes, they kept like the same typography, which was really nice. So at least they still kind of look good together, even though this girl looks like a hot mess. I'm sorry. So I'm kind of glad they did the cover changes. So yeah, that's all I read this week. Tomorrow's Thanksgiving, so happy Thanksgiving if you celebrate Thanksgiving. I don't know how much reading I'll get done today and like tomorrow, but I do plan on starting Independent Study, which is book 2 to the testing, and then I also have graduation day. So my goal for like this weekend is to finish those 2 plus film some more videos. So we shall see how that goes. And I do kind of, don't tell anybody, I'm planning on possibly getting a new bookshelf today, which is kind of exciting. Because today we have snow day. I would show you, but you can't really see. There's snow out there. There's snow. So we had a snow day. But I still have to go out and brave the world to go to Target today. So I might pick up a new bookshelf, which would be really exciting. So obviously, if I do, you'll see it in another video soon. But I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you guys in my